morning. I'm not gonna pause super long on this one. Obviously I'm shooting it live because we're hanging out at the resort here, we're on vacation, but I wanted to update everybody on the last video. So if you watched the last video that I published, it was specifically a video holding a specific person from a Facebook group accountable for her crappy behavior, no really other way to put it, in trying to take advantage of my small business. And overwhelmingly the absolute majority of everybody understood the situation. So that, you know, I didn't think that I wasn't aware of what was actually going on there, but it was nice to see that overwhelmingly 99.9% of people were like, what the heck, that behavior was not acceptable on multiple fronts. So I just thought, again, transparency and communication. I'm that guy, that girl, I guess, who, you know, I think it's important to be transparent and put everything out there. So that being said, there's a small update, to the situation, which is kind of laughable. And this whole thing, first off, let me say I'm very aware of how petty first world problem this whole situation is, but that's the 30,000 foot view, the on the ground view from me and my business, is that it's petty for sure, but it still sucks to be taken advantage of, and nobody likes to be, you know, manipulated and lied to either. So Maria asked if I'm home from the trip. No, we just left. So we're hanging out in the resort. We were waiting on, we weren't smart enough to get water before we got to the resort. So we've been waiting on Amazon water delivery all day for bottled water and stuff, because it's Florida and it's hot here. And last night we were laying in bed going, oh my gosh, we have no drinks because we flew. So normally we drive, so we don't have this problem. So anyway, and again, I just thought it would be good to update because I do think it was important. You know, you guys can take what you will from this, but I just wanted to update you that she did end up miraculously finding thread, and she made a bag. What is funnier about this? The previous video, you'll have to go back and watch because I am gonna paraphrase here a little bit, but I don't like to do that. Things are missed in paraphrasing, but the long and short of it is this person solicited me for materials from my business. She asked and I said sure, because, you know, she wanted to sew them up. And then when she did not feel as though she got enough for free from me, she tried to throw a temper tantrum and say, well, you didn't send me thread and other people got more than me. And, you know, these emails that were just dripping with manipulation and absolute gaslighting and ridiculous long. I read them on the other video. So anyway, you know, most of you watched that. If you didn't, you'll have to go watch it. But I'm going to paraphrase here a little bit. Her tantrum was down to the fact that other people received thread from me and she did not. And she felt wronged by that. She felt as though my small business did not send her enough free stuff. So her response to that was to try to throw a temper tantrum, or not try to, she did, and say, well, because you didn't send me thread, I'm not going to sew up the materials now. And her initial excuse was, well, I don't have any thread and personal things happened to me last month, and so now I'm unable to spend my financial resources to go get thread to sew up your project. And so I'm not going to be able to sew up the free materials you provided to me. Again, paraphrasing, but it was very clear. I mean, that's obviously what she said. My response was, respectfully, if you can't meet the obligation that you signed up for and asked me to participate in, then I will send you a prepaid label at my expense. Please send me back my materials. And her response was, well, while I respect you saying that, you know, I earned these materials by making a free graphic and whatever, a bunch of garbage. It's all in the emails, right on the other one. And of course my response, and that's why we're here now, is respectfully, no. Send me my stuff back or sew it up. And again, her response was, well, I don't have any thread. And you know, we all know that was a lie. Not only was it a lie, it was a bad lie, because what ended up happening is you all, people of the internet, said, I'm going to look into that. And she had not only posted, and I have my husband's phone here so I can show you guys this, because I know a lot of you don't do Facebook, but again, for transparency purposes, I posted in my Facebook group a link to the previous video, and somebody, a customer in here, it's all posted here. If you're on Facebook, you can go and see this for yourself. This was posted where someone said, I had to go and find this woman. Lo and behold, for someone who claims to have no blue thread, she got a huge spool of blue thread for free in September. The screenshot posted here says, I hardly think she used that giant spool of thread in 5 to 6 weeks. And this is her name. It's gonna be not great to see, but Melissa Cummings posting, you see the blue thread right there, posted by her. This blue thread, by the way, was given to her by another small business not 2 months ago. So she just flat out lied to me. Oh, I don't have any blue or navy thread and I'm not gonna spend my resources and time. This woman clearly thinks that her time and resources and her sacrifice and her whatever are so much whatever than everybody else's. And so, you know, and then she just flat out lied. So this is a lie. Not only that, but I didn't realize I had actually liked and hearted this video posted in her own group, the Sewing Hub, just 3 or 4 days ago now. This is her from her account, picture of her. And if you look in the back portion right there, there's a whole bunch of thread, including that spool of blue thread. So this was brought to my attention the morning after I posted the last video. So this would have been yesterday morning, right? I was on a plane at 5 a.m. So I didn't see this until a little bit later. Well, it would appear, I don't know because I didn't follow this, but there was a lot of chitter chatter because this is what the internet does. Lots of people apparently made comments toward her on posts with that blue thread saying, hey, that blue thread would look really nice on that project that you're claiming you can't sew up because you don't have any thread. So she was again called out, which I don't feel bad for in any way, shape, or form. If she feels bad, she should. What you're feeling is shame, lady. Period. And you should. So, you know, I am so, frankly, I'm proud of all of everybody banding together and going, no, we're not going to let this stand. Not because it was on behalf of me, because it was on behalf of all of us as the sewing community and honestly just humanity. Your lies aren't going to stand and we're going to call you out on it. So what that ended up leading to, and this is also posted in my group, you know, obviously I can't show pictures on Instagram any other way, but this is all in my group and it's there and it's going to live there. In a separate post early yesterday morning, so the night before, she's claiming 2 days before, actually, night before and the night before last, I don't have any thread, I'm not able to get thread, I don't have to get thread because I've done so much for you, I shouldn't have to do that, blah, blah, blah. All that. She posted a bag. She posted a bag that I will let you all, I'm gonna reserve my judgment publicly, but I think that there have been several comments made that I would agree with about the level of work on said bag. She basically just chose, after being called out, to do the right thing. I'm not going to say it's the right thing because the right thing would have been to do it before you got called out and before you lied and did all these other things. But she posted a bag, and this is the comment that was posted with the bag. And I will preface this by saying I have never received another email from her after the last one I read to you guys. I've never had any other communication from her, which I don't mind. I would be happy to never see her cross my threshold again. But I just want to preface this by saying I have never received an apology. I have never received an actual admission of all these things that she's been doing, which is frankly insulting me via email, that like my time and money aren't worth anything, that she didn't get enough for free from me, frankly wasting a lot of my time. And if we're gonna do that, then I can waste my own time right here calling you out, you know, all that. So she posted this, what I'm guessing is her version of what she thinks an apology is, which is in no way, shape, or form an apology. But she says, and also the other thing I will add about this before I read it, in my opinion, she kind of is sort of mocking this whole situation, which to me is not, you know, this is a serious thing to me. Like, it's stupid, but it is serious. Like, this isn't a joke to me. I spent over $600 on this. So anyway, I sent her peacock vinyl in addition to a lot of other materials of mine from my business. And so she wrote, "Just like a peacock, I let my pride get in the way of remembering that even when we are hurt, love is the only right path. I'm truly sorry for any pain and hurt I have caused, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to sew up these gorgeous materials. I hope that these first steps toward healing and forgiveness can lead us back toward a path of friendship and kindness. That was it. So I'll tell you right now, I did respond to her. There were several comments made that I agree with that I am going to read, and they're all published there. The first of which was, "Oh wow, you found some blue thread. How were you hurt?" Meaning her. How was she hurt by receiving beautiful materials? Nobody hurt her. I sent her a bunch of stuff for free in exchange for asking that she sew them up, which she volunteered to do, and I agreed and said, sure, that sounds like a great deal. So how were you hurt? Whatever, but I fully agree with that. The deal also, by the way, was not only to sew up the materials, it was to promote them, and I had even specifically written on the notes that were sent, please link the products you used. I mean, she didn't do any of those things. Whatever. But this was my response, and I fully and wholeheartedly stand by it for so many reasons. And here's what I said to her. She was still in my group at this point. I think it's also important to note that at the time she posted this, I didn't realize, but she had already blocked me from her group. No skin off my back. I was going to leave anyway. I have no interest in being in there. So she blocked myself and several other people from my group. She was just going through on a blocking spree. Whole bunches of people have been blocked from her group, probably trying to do damage control and save face for the consequences of her own actions. Fine. But that's what was going on and is going on. That's all in the comments on my group. People are like, yep, I've been blocked, I've been blocked, I've been blocked. So she posted this bag with that malarkey comment, taking no accountability or ownership for what she actually did, and not actually apologizing because she didn't own up to what she did, but trying to save face. I mean, we all know that's what was going on here. So she did that, but blocked me at the same time from her group, but remained in my group. So once I had seen this, like 4 or 5 hours later, I gave her any chance she wanted to respond. I responded to her here so she could see it, and then I kindly removed her from my group because we don't need that there. There's no reason for her to stay. So my response to her was, it's amazing how that blue thread popped up. Your bag is lovely, which it's a bag. Your material, or my materials that I sent you, look amazing, and you did the right thing in the end, even if it was only after being called out. I'm going to turn off comments here because myself and this community do not owe you any more graciousness, kindness, or energy. You tried to take advantage of me, and had I not publicly called this out, you likely would have succeeded in that under the cover of my silence. You lied to me, point blank, about not having the thread. You tried to manipulate me several times over email. And you gaslit me also several times over email. And frankly, this comment that she posted with this bag is a whole bunch of gaslighting tactics. So still trying to do the same thing. And I said, and now you're here doing whatever this is, whatever that post was, which is, in my opinion, her just trying to save face because it's not an actual apology. And then I told her, an actual apology acknowledges specifically the actions that somebody perpetrated, that she perpetrated. And you name them specifically and you own up to them and the pain that they caused. And then it's followed up by change that is executed through a series of actions, both immediately and going forward. It's not just words. And I said, this is a partial step toward that, but it's incomplete by a mile. And I'm not going to okay this. And I'm not going to say, oh, you sewed up the bag and now it's all better. I mean, from here on out, like, I'm not going to say I don't care. But nothing is going to really make it better. Like, this whole thing has just been crappy and stupid, and what will make it better eventually for her is to show a better side of her character, because this whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, there's multiple things. We have so many examples to look at of like, wow, like, this is not great. So yeah, I'm not going to okay it. I'm not going to assuage your guilt. I'm not going to make you feel better. I'm the one here that, you know, you've been doing this stuff to, and I don't owe you anything else. So that, you know, and I just said, enjoy your bag, enjoy the free materials, and going forward, please do not try to take advantage of other people's kindness, individuals and small businesses. So, that was my response. That's, you know, I will not be communicating with her otherwise or anything else. And then, you know, there were just a series of other comments posted about people saying I was also blocked and whatever. So, which I don't think that anyone is necessarily heartbroken over. But I think all of our sentiments were basically the same. This was a tactic to try to save face. Ultimately, she sewed the bag. I'm not going to say things like, well, that's all I can ask for, because all I can ask for is that she would have done the right thing. You know what I mean? From the beginning, that's what I asked for. That's what she came to me and said I'm gonna do, and then she chose to not do that and do all this other stuff. So, you know, whatever. It just is what it is. Yeah, that's it. It is what it is. So we're here now, but that's the update, and I thought that it was fair to give her due, honestly, whatever that is, because again, I'm not going to say, oh, she did the right thing. She had to be called out in order to do this. But the weird comment attached to it about like, oh, we're going to be friends and whatever, like, my friendship does not extend to people who treat me this way and do all these things to me. Nobody should. I have more value than that. So no, we're not going to be friends. Truth be told, I'm never going to think about you again. And if you do ever cross my threshold again, which I hope that you would not be smart enough to do, it's not going to be pleasant. So just go on your merry way, do your thing. I guess, my hope would be going forward, she does better. Don't try to take advantage of people and do this kind of stuff. And I hope that if she does, people call her out on it. This is going to live here forever. So is the other video. There was one or two comments somewhere that people were like, well, maybe you should take this down because that would be the nice thing to do. Do you know what? No, I will not. I absolutely will not. I think that this will stay here, both of them, and will serve to sort of be like a bar for her to do better. And that, to me, I think that that's necessary in this situation. I think if other people, Google, find it, whatever, somebody runs across it, she can show people that she has better character than she showed in this situation, which was just to be absolutely ungrateful and insulting and rude, along with a lot of other stuff, frankly. So either live your life and continue to be that way, and I guess some people will put up with it. I will not. I just will not. So no, I will not be taking it down. It will stay. It will live. And I did my 100% best to show transparency on the previous one by literally reading word for word her words and my word. There was nothing left out there except for a few personal details, because I'm not trying to dox this person. I'm not trying to expose her personal laundry stuff as far as like personal things, but what I am exposing absolutely is her trying to take advantage of a small business and a person, me. So yeah, it will live there, it will stay there, and I will say what I said at the end of the last video. If you wanted to be remembered better, then you should have behaved better, period. So going forward, there are multiple things she can do, that's not my business, but to assuage it would be and make it go away would be to do better by people, be nicer to people, don't do this kind of crap to people again. And then if somebody does happen to see it and they go, yeah, but that was old, she's clearly changed, and she has shown through her actions that she has made amends by going forward and doing better by people. And that is why it will live there and stay there. So do better, folks. It's unexpected, I think, for somebody to call it out. I don't think that she ever in a million years expected that. Truth be told, I didn't expect it, but when I found myself at that crossroads of, okay, you're here again, being taken advantage again by a person, being manipulated by somebody, what did you do last time? Which was, I turned the other cheek and I was quiet about it, and it got me nowhere, and it made things so much worse, and other people suffered too. So I said I can either do the same thing I did last time and expect a different result, which is crazy, or I can do something different, and the only two things I can do are be quiet or talk about it. Call it out or be quiet. And so I made that decision, and now we move forward. So anyway, that's the update. We are just hanging out at the resort for the time being. We're gonna go get some lunch, and we are having a really good time. It's been really relaxing, it's quiet, it's peaceful. I'm finishing my very late coffee because it's vacation. Anyway, do with that what you will. The only other thing that I will say, there were just a couple of little comments. Somebody did mention to me, well, I'm not going to leave the group over it, nor should you. There is absolutely, this is not like a call to action. It's not a call to arms. It's not a call to attack anybody or anything otherwise. I do not have control over what anybody else does, and nor do I wish to. I don't think that anybody should leave a group that they enjoy, or if they want to stay there for other reasons, Godspeed, good luck. I don't think that anybody should leave anywhere that they want to be. Anything that any one person does has to be for themselves, right? So don't feel like you're doing anything on behalf of me. or somebody else or whatever for someone else's benefit, because in the end, you know, that's not something we gotta do. And then the only other thing was, you know, there was 99.9% of people saw this for what it was. And again, that was really restorative to my faith in humanity of like, okay, cool. So people really see this for what's going on here, which made me feel a lot better. That right there made me feel better about it. Like, I know what I feel and what's going on here and what my gut feelings say and the red flags going off on all this stuff. But it's nice to have another set of eyes on it to be like, nah, this is not cool. But there were a couple people, and I have no control over anybody's actions or feelings. You're free to feel however you would like, of course. Like, that's not how this works. But, you know, they were like, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate. And, you know, did she actually say she wasn't going to sew it? Yes, 100% she did. And she lied to me flat out. It's all in the emails. She straight said, I can't sew this because I don't have thread and you didn't send me thread. And so therefore I can't do this and I won't spend my own resources to make it happen. I mean, it was a flat out lie. So yes, she did say that both in context and flat out multiple times. And I kindly and respectfully asked her to hold up her end of the bargain multiple times. She had multiple times before we got to this point to make it right. And just give up the ghost and say, you know what, sorry, yep, I will do what I should do. And she didn't. So that's how we ended up here. And then the only other thing I will say, you know, is like, hey man, you do you. You play devil's advocate all day long. But, you know, I'm not going to do that. I have done that, and it got me into bad positions, and it got me more used and thrown away, and other people suffered too, not just me. So like, I'm not doing that anymore, which again is how we got here. So anyway, I think there's a couple comments here. I didn't, Maria says, off subject, are you going to offer more styles of Saya Sidekick panels? Yes, I will. I just started working on those cut and sews. I'll be offering them for other style bags too, but just, you know, time. I designed the files, so it takes a bit. So right now I just have 2 up. There'll be more, and other bag styles too, so. Sorry, my hand's right here in the way. Gypsy said she kept moving your goalpost, plus she could have used a different color thread instead of the blue. She could. Her literal response to me was she didn't have any thread. And then it was, well, I don't have blue or navy, which both turned out to be a lie. So yeah, you know, again, we're all just going to do with it what we will, but, I just wanted to put that update there. And both this video and the last one are, like I said, going to live here for transparency purposes. She ultimately did make a bag, and my personal opinion about what the bag looks like or any of that doesn't really matter. I'm not here to judge her sewing work. I will say it doesn't look anything like a lot of the other projects that I saw her post. So, you know, again, it's on the Facebook group. I can't share photos here, but I did flash one at the beginning using a phone, and it's posted in the Facebook group. The only reason I even came here to do this is because many of you on the last video told me I don't do Facebook, which I fully understand, and I envy you. But you told me you didn't do Facebook, and so I knew that you likely would not get the update of like, hey, she did end up sewing the bag. You're not going to see the pictures. You're not going to see the weird comment that she attached to it where she basically blame shifted the whole thing and kind of tried to she didn't take any accountability for any of it and was just like, let's move forward with love and kindness. Okay, well, when you learn the definition of those words, lady, then I guess come see somebody. Don't come see me, but go see somebody. Because none of this stuff that you have done is kind, especially the lying and the manipulating and all the rest of it, and the downright ungrateful behavior and the crappy emails. The only last other thing I want to touch on, and this is an important part, truly, I made sure in the last email to give a very specific distinction that the only person involved in that besides myself, the person I was talking about that was doing these things to me and saying these things, was Melissa Cummings herself, the owner and main operator, main spokesperson, whatever it seems to be, of the Sewing Hub group. I cannot speak, nor will I, to the thoughts, characters, actions of the other admins or people on the team there, because I never had any direct contact with any of them. Melissa was the one who originally reached out to me and solicited me for these materials. Melissa was the only person who sent me crappy, insulting emails, insinuating and flat out saying, well, you didn't do enough for me and you did more for them and how nice for them and all that kind of stuff that she was saying to me. Melissa was the only one claiming, I don't have thread and I won't be sewing this up, but I'll try my best to find another way to promote you, and going back on her portion of this. I will say I do not know what was said to the other admins or how things were communicated to them. They were never on those email chains between Melissa and I, and so I don't know what they plan to do. And I can't see anything in the Sewing Hub group at this point because, I mean, obviously, Melissa, I'm assuming, is the one, but someone blocked me from the group, and that's perfectly fine. But I can see the tracking numbers. I can see that all 5 of the boxes that I sent, worth well over $600, and costing me that much, money in merchandise and shipping, they were all delivered. Every single person has received those. So if 5 boxes worth of my materials do not show up and are sewn there as it was promised by Melissa they would be, then we can maybe make some judgments or some whatever about what's going on there. But I cannot speak about the other folks on the team there because I wasn't privy to any of that. I can only speak to you and have only been speaking to you about my experience with Melissa. So while it does extend to the Sewing Hub group, I want to make that distinction that I cannot pin any of her behavior on those people, right? They are responsible for their own actions. And I communicated with Melissa and she communicated with me that those people would be sewing up the boxes and promoting. And I hand wrote a note on each one of their packing slips that specifically said, hey, enjoy these materials. I would appreciate it if it's okay with the group rules. Can you please link the materials you've used, like from my website, link them on the group while you're promoting these items. So far, I've not seen anybody do that. But that's kind of sort of a lesser thing, but it was asked. So Melissa herself did not even do that when she posted in my group. It was more about her and kindness and friendship and whatever. So anyway, yeah. The long and short of all of this here is that when the person who has the thing done to them, I'm going to use this word correctly in the logical definition sense, the victim does not owe more kindness, graciousness, extra love, friendship, whatever, to the perpetrator. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never. Like, there is never an instance when the person who was wronged owes more to the perpetrator. And that's exactly why my response to her was what it was. I don't owe you more energy, graciousness, kindness, friendship, love, any of it. I don't owe you anything, and I will not give you anything. So, go forth with that knowledge in case that's something that you're just now learning. It took me till about 32, 33 years old to understand and realize that. You don't owe people who treat you badly more. You already gave them enough. So, anyway, I'm kind of waiting for like a little past midday. We're gonna go get some lunch, and then we're gonna go enjoy the rest of our vacation. And frankly, there likely will not be any more updates, not from my side on this, unless I receive something from her. But honestly, if I did, I probably wouldn't even read it. There's nothing that can be said at this point after the multiple. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's gonna change, and I don't expect it to. So anyway, I'm gonna read this last one. Pam said, amazing what happens when you call out bad behavior. Proud of you. I'll be making an order from you once I inventory my hardware. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, Pam. I fully agree. This right here, though, is exactly the reason why we have to do better about calling stuff out. Not just in the sewing community, in general. You gotta call it out, because if you are quiet about it, those people take it as a sign of like, oh, I can just keep doing that. And when good people literally do nothing about bad behavior, that's exactly what happens. And that's exactly where we get when things like integrity and honesty in our society start to degrade to like such a point where it's like rare. And I truly do believe that we're getting to a point in this world of ours where it's like, it's just okay to walk all over people and be crappy, and nobody's gonna call it out. People just turn the other cheek, and you talk to your friend privately and go, oh yeah, well, they treated me badly, but oh well, I guess I'm just gonna move on. But if everybody does that all the time, where do we end up? So it's hard, but you gotta try your best to do it. I'm not asking anybody to sacrifice a mortgage or a firstborn child, if it is too difficult and it really is going to put you in danger or it's going to cause you to lose your house, pick your battles. But in this case, I've had enough, and I really have had enough of seeing people in this community specifically be put through the ringer with pre-orders and expos and class things, all that kind of stuff. And this is just another one of those in that same list. Like, I'm just going to take from a small business, and then and she better just take it on the chin. Well, sorry lady, but you picked the wrong one. I'm not going to take it on the chin. I absolutely will not anymore. And I urge you all to do the same thing. Stand up for yourself in your personal life, business if you can, if you're not going to lose your job, or if you have a good backup plan, whatever it is, you got to stand up. So anyway, happy Veterans Day. I hope you enjoy your day off if you get it. I hope that if you are one of those people who served, that you are for sure enjoying your time off and you're being appreciated in all the ways that you should be appreciated in. Go enjoy good discounts, time with your family, barbecues, all those things. And for the rest of us that just get the benefit of that nice holiday for other people's service, thank somebody and enjoy the day. So we're gonna go enjoy our vacation. I will see you all. Thank you very much for being here, and happy Monday. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Bye, y'all.